Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the campus of Kansas City Community College Blue Devils. They will host the Neosho Panthers from Chanute, Kansas. The Blue Devils traveled there yesterday and won the first game 7-2 and lost the second game 3-1. So that brings the conference standings to Johnson County and Cowley County tied for first place in the conference with records of 13-1. In third place is the Blue Devils at 15-3. Fort Scott 11-7. Then Coffeyville 6-8. Then Neosho 5-9. Allen County 6-12. Labette County 3-13 and Highland 0-18. So we want to welcome the Panthers to the campus today here at the baseball field where we will play a doubleheader, a 7-inning game, then a 9-inning game to finish this 4-game series for the Blue Devils and the Panthers. The starting lineups for today: Neosho County's coach Steve Miller, his 33rd year. They are 19-13 overall and 5-9 in conference play. Their starting lineup will be Cruz Aranda at shortstop, batting first. Then Andrew Brotman playing third base, batting second. Batting third is the catcher, Brady Garrison. Batting cleanup, Adam Tice. He'll be the second baseman. Batting fifth, Khalil Thrasher in right field. Batting sixth, Hunter Lemunyon at first base. Batting seventh, Brent Scribner. He's the designated hitter. Batting eighth, the left fielder, Chase Curtis. Batting ninth, Sam Cassane. He is the center fielder, and on the mound is Joe Todd. Joe Todd and Tice, the battery for the Panthers, and that's the starting lineup for Steve Miller and the Panthers. The starting lineups today for Matt Golbeck in his fourth year as the head coach. They are 28-8 on the year, 15-3 in the conference. Their starting lineup will be Trace Harder. Trace is the second baseman. Batting second, playing first base, is Eric Hinestroza. Batting third at third base is Kevin Santiago. Batting cleanup behind the plate and has the catching duties today, J.T. Goodfellow. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Jose Sosa. Batting sixth at shortstop, Kemper Bednar. Batting seventh in left field, Tyler Henry. Batting eighth, Caleb Harrison. Caleb is in right field. Batting ninth, Eduardo Acosta, and he'll be in center field. On the mound, Osvaldo Mendez will be on the mound. That's the starting lineups for both teams today. I want to welcome you to the broadcast. Welcome you here on a sunshiny day. The wind is out of the south for a change, so blowing out to left field. We haven't seen that in a while, so we'll see how that affects things today. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the start of this one about 1 o'clock. We'll be back. All right, welcome back, everyone, to today's doubleheader. Neosho Community College Panthers in town, being hosted by the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Blue Devils here in Kansas City, Kansas, on the campus of the community college here, Kansas City, Kansas. On the mound today for the Blue Devils, Osvaldo Mendez. He will take his 3.47 ERA to the mound. He will face Aranda, Brotman, and Garrison, the first three hitters for the Panthers. Cruz Aranda, number 11, he's the shortstop. He'll step in with his .309 batting average to begin the day. First pitch to him is right through there, strike one called. 0-1 the count. Mendez to Aranda, first pitch. Here at 1 minute till, there's a swing and a miss on a fastball outside part of the plate. So quickly 0-2, Mendez ahead of Aranda. Having a brief problem with one of my cameras. We will just go with the one. So one out. All right, while we were looking at the cameras, I will just have the one camera at this time. Aranda goes down swinging for the first out. 1-1 strike to Brotman. Brotman swing and a foul ball. Starting the day batting at .410. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brotman. He is the third baseman, number 3. There's a breaking pitch, fouled back and out of play. So 1 ball, 2 strikes again with 1 out. One ball, 2 strikes to Brotman, Andrew Brotman. Comes the 1-2 inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We have our tight camera back. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brotman. There's a line drive right up the middle, base hit a little toward left center for Brotman. It's going to bring up Brady Garrison, the catcher. Garrison begins the day batting .375. He'll be up there with 1 out and a runner at first in Brotman. Comes the first pitch in the dirt, blocked nicely by Goodfellow. Want to know the count? Runner at first, 1 out. Top of the first action. There's a throw over to first. Got Aranda picked off. He is going to be tagged out, so that will be a 1-3-4 tag out. for the second out of the inning. So we had to strike out to begin the inning and then the pickoff. Now the count is 2-0 to the number 3 hitter, Garrison, the catcher. Brady Garrison, number 13. 3-0 the count to him. There's a strike at the knees outside part of the plate. Comes the wind in, the 3-1 from Mendez. Right at the knees, strike 2 called, right down the middle. So 3 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs. Mendez to Garrison. Comes the 2-2 inside. 3-2 the count. Foul ball back and out of play. So we'll do the 3-2 again. Foul ball right back at the press box. Do the 3-2 one more time at least. Santiago at third, Bednar at short. Harder at second, Hinestrosa at first. Here comes the pitch. Fly ball into center field. Acosta under that. He takes care of it for the third out of the inning. The end of half an inning, no score. We'll be back. Starting lineup for the Blue Devils today. Harder's at second base. He'll lead off. Hinestrosa at first will bat second. Santiago at third base will bat third. Goodfellow, the catcher, he'll bat cleanup. He's the catcher. Designated hitter will bat fifth. Jose Sosa. Kemper Bednar will bat sixth. He's at shortstop. Tyler Henry bats seventh. He's in left field. Batting eighth, Caleb Harrison in right field. Batting ninth, Acosta in center field, and on the mound was Mendez. On the mound for the Panthers, Joe Todd. He brings his 3.25 ERA to the mound, right-hander. So he will face Harder, Hinestrosa, and Santiago here in the bottom half of the first. Mendez gives up a base hit after the strikeout and then promptly picks Brotman off, and then a fly out by Garrison is what happened in the top of the first. So here we go to the bottom. Trace Harder, the second baseman, will lead off. He brings his .339 average to lead off for the Blue Devils. Strike right through there. On 1 the count. Comes the wind and the pitch. Ground ball at the second baseman. He's up with it over to first. Harder out on a 4-3. Tice over to LeMunion for the out. It's going to bring up Hinestroza. Hinestroza, the first baseman, batting .359 to begin the day. He'll step in on the left-hand side facing Todd. There's a ground ball back up the middle, going to be picked off by the shortstop and over to first base, but that's going to be a hit. Up the middle, shortstop tried to get there and get it done, but safe at first is Hinestroza. It's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago starts the day batting .347. He'll step in with one out and Hinestroza at first after that infield hit up the middle. Inside, ball one. 1-0 the count to Santiago. Outside, ball two. 2-0 to the third baseman, Kevin Santiago. Throw over to first, back in safely is Hinestroza. LeMunion, the first baseman. Comes the 2-0 to Santiago. Strike. Strike called. Third base is Brotman. Shortstop is Aranda. Second baseman, Tice. First baseman, LeMunion. Curtis in left. Cassane in center. There's a swing and a line drive up the middle. So Santiago hits it hard on a line, but taken care of by the center fielder, Cassane. That's going to bring up Goodfellow. Goodfellow batting .345. He'll be up there with 2 outs and a runner at first. Throw over to first, back in safely is Hinestroza. Across the outfield for the Panthers, Curtis in left. Cassane in center, and in right, Thrasher. Comes the pitch, swing and a miss by Goodfellow. A healthy cut there, comes up empty, 0-1 the count. Swing and a miss on that pitch. Outside part of the strike zone, so down in the count, 0-2 is Goodfellow. Comes the 0-2, runner goes. Line drive, foul down the left field line. So Hinestroza off and running with the 0-2 pitch. Goodfellow fouls it, pulls it foul down the left field line. We'll do the 0-2 again. Here's the pitch, outside and high. 1-2 the count on Goodfellow. Comes the wind in the 1-2. There's a ball headed for left field. That's going to drop. So a base hit into left field for Goodfellow. That'll bring up Sosa, the designated hitter. Sosa batting .342 to begin the day. He'll be up there with 2 outs, 2 on. – Ball one. Want to know the count to Sosa. Good fellow just about to sleep there. Throw down, but back in underneath the tag by Lemunion. 2-0 the count to Sosa. Comes the 2-0. Strike called at the knees inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. On the designated hitter, Sosa. Comes the 2-1. Stays just a little bit inside. 3 balls and a strike. Comes the stretch by Todd. And the 3-1. Inside ball 4 to Sosa. That's going to bring up Bednar. Bednar's going to be up there with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Bednar batting .412 at the start of the day, which is 6th in the conference as an average. He'll step in with 2 outs and the bases full of Blue Devils. See if he can get us on top here in the bottom of the first. Early going, first game of 7. There's a strike right through there. 0-1 the count. Kemper Bednar at the plate. Comes the 0-1, squares to bunt, fouls it off. So 0-2 the count on Bednar. Bednar on pace to, I believe, break the record for bunt hits. But he's down in the count here, 0-2. Bottom of the first, no score. Here comes the 0-2. Strike 3 called, just catches the outside corner. At the end of 1, no score. We'll be back. Mendez back for his second inning of work, top of the second. Tice, Thrasher, and Lemunion scheduled up for the Panthers. Strike 1 called on Tice, Adam Tice. He's the second baseman. starts the day batting .299. It's a pop-up on the right field side. The first baseman takes care of that. Hinestrosa for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Thrasher. Thrasher's the right field, starts the day batting .355. He takes ball one. Comes the 1-0 from Mendez. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. To the number 5 hitter for the Panthers, Khalil Thrasher. Strike on the outside corner at the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To the right fielder. There's a ground ball headed to Harder. He's up with it and over to first for the out. So a nice job by Harder to charge that one. It's going to bring up Lemunyon, the first baseman. He starts the day batting .246. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the second inning. Swing and a miss of that first pitch. Took a little off of it. Out in front of it was Lemunyon. Comes the 0-1 from Mendez. A little bit high. 1 ball and a strike. Comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. So 1-2 the count on Lemunyon. Foul ball over the right field. Actually, the first base dugout. So we'll do the 1-2 again. Comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Foul ball into the glove of Goodfellow. The end of 1.5. No score. Joe Todd back to the mound for his second inning of work for Neosho County. Scheduled up for the Blue Devils, Henry Harrison and Acosta. Harrison, the left fielder, starts the day batting .333. Comes the first pitch to him, and there's a little high chopper to the third baseman. He's up with it and over to first. So Tyler Henry grounds out to the third baseman, Brotman, over to Lemunyon. It's going to bring up Harrison. Caleb will step in on the left-handed side. He starts the day batting .341. First pitch to him is at the knees, strike called, 0-1. Harrison, number 23, the right fielder. Comes the 0-1, squares to bunt. It's going to be a bunt hit by Harrison. So that's going to bring up Acosta. Acosta, the center fielder, he starts the day batting .333. He'll step in with one out, and Harrison at first after that bunt hit. Throw over to first, back in safely. First pitch, strike called, right at the waist, outside part of the plate. Costa, the number 9 hitter, plays center field. Comes the stretch and the 0-1. Pitch is up and out. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Blue Devils batting here in the bottom half of the second inning, no score. Runner goes, swing and a miss, and in safely with a stolen base is Harrison. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Acosta. In scoring position now is Harrison with 1 out. Comes the 1-2. Swing and fouled back. So we'll do the 1-2 again. The stretch by Todd. Deep ball hit over the left fielder's head by Acosta. So Harrison is going to score on that double that bounces up to the wall by Acosta. So Acosta gets the Blue Devils on the board here in the bottom of the second with that double to the left field fence. So back to the top of the order we go to Harder. Harder grounded out to the second baseman his last time up. He'll step in. Takes high and inside, ball 1. Comes the 1-0 inside. 2-0 the count on Harder. Harder is from Topeka, Kansas. Ground ball to the third baseman. He's up with it and over to first. He looks Acosta back to second and then throws out Harder. So Harder out on a 5-3 ground out. It's going to bring up Hinostroza. He had a hit up the middle his first time. Hinostroza is from McLouth, Kansas. He steps in with 2 outs and Acosta at second base. 1 run in by Acosta's double. There's a strike called outside part of the plate at the knees, 0-1 on Hinostroza. Hinostroza's high chopper up the middle, his first at bat, was not able to be thrown out by the shortstop. Here comes the 0-1. There's another ground ball up the middle. Shortstop up with it and over to first. So at the end of 2 full innings, Blue Devils lead 1-0. RBI double by Acosta. We'll be back. To the top of the third we go. Mendez back to work for the Blue Devils. He's scheduled to face Scribner, Curtis, and Cassane. Scribner starts the day batting .239. He'll step in on the right-hand side and face the left-handed pitcher, Mendez. Just misses a little bit outside, 1-0 to Scribner. Scribner is the designated hitter. There's a ball hit deep to left field, and that is going to be a home run. It did stay fair. So one swing of the bat by Brant Scribner ties this one up. That's going to bring up Curtis. Curtis batting .241 on the season. He's the left fielder. That ball misses a little bit high. There's a ball into left field for a hit. So Curtis with a base hit to left field after the home run by Scribner ties it up. That's going to bring up Cassane. Cassane is the center fielder. He starts the day batting .306. He'll step in on the left-handed side to face the left-handed throwing Mendez. Santiago a couple of steps in on the grass. Going to go over to first, and he picks Curtis promptly, so a couple of hits end up in a couple of outs for Mendez after picking off 2 hitters. So there's going to be 1 out. There's a foul ball by Cassane. Swing and a miss, down 0-2 in the count is Cassane. Comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss on that ball outside, and the strikeout to the number 9 hitter for the second out of the inning. So back to the top of the order, we go for Neosho to Aranda. He struck out swinging his first time up. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on. Way outside, ball 1. 1-1 tie. The Blue Devils pick up 1 in the bottom of the second, and a homer here in the top of the third by Scribner tied it up. That misses just a little bit low. So 2-0 the count to Aranda. So ground ball at the shortstop. Bednar up with it. And we'll see how they score that. I believe it's going to be a throwing error on Bednar. So Aranda reaches on the air. He will be at first with 2 outs for Brotman. Brotman had a base hit to left center his first time out and then was picked off and out in a rundown. Going to go to first, and another player has been picked off. So he will be tagged out for the third out of the inning. So 3 base runners have been picked off of first base. I'm sure that Coach Miller will not be happy about that, but nonetheless, the score got tied by the home run for Scribner. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Score tied at 1. We'll be back for the bottom of the third. Todd back for his third inning of work. Bottom of the third we go. Score tied at 1. Santiago, Goodfellow, and Sosa scheduled up. Santiago lined out to the center fielder his first time. He takes strike at the knees, actually at the waist outside corner. Santiago from Ayala, Puerto Rico. There's a swing and a miss of that fastball. So quickly 0-2 the count on Santiago. Comes the wind by Todd and the pitch. It's a fly ball lifted into deep center field. And that ball just clears the 400 sign for a home run. So Santiago with the home run to almost dead center field to put the Blue Devils back ahead 2-1. Outside, the first pitch to J.T. Goodfellow. He had a base hit into left field his first time up. It's a ground ball at the third baseman. He's up with it and over to first for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Sosa. Sosa, the designated hitter. He walked his first time up. He'll be up there with 1 out and nobody on to face Todd. Ball in the dirt for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Sosa. The Panthers 1 run on 3 hits. The Blue Devils 2 runs on 5 hits. A foul ball down the third baseline. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and 1 run in the inning. Blue Devils batting here in the bottom of the third, leading 2-1. Comes the 1-1 pitch. High chopper. Third baseman going to try and cut it off. See how that scored. That scored a hit. Third baseman tried to cut it off to make that a short throw. I'm not sure the shortstop could have had him anyway there for the hit. So Sosa with the infield hit. So that's going to bring up Bednar. Bednar was called out on strikes his first time up. He's going to be up there with 1 out. And Sosa at first. Santiago led off the inning with a home run. Then a ground out by Goodfellow. There's a swing and a miss by Bednar. Owen won the count on Bednar, the shortstop. He's at the plate. Owen won the count with 1 out. There's a strike right through there outside part of the plate. So 0-2 the count. Comes the stretch and the pitch from Todd. That in the dirt, blocked nicely by the catcher Garrison. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, runner at first. Blue Devils batting here in the bottom of the third with a 2-1 lead. Swing and a miss. So a strikeout by Bednar. That's going to bring up Tyler Henry. Henry grounded out to the third baseman his first time up. Henry is from Gardner, Kansas. Sosa at first. He is from Hialeah, Florida. Comes the pitch. High fly ball to left, deep to left, and that ball is going to be right at the base of the fence. But I'm not sure that Sosa was running with the pitch, not realizing there were 2 outs. Otherwise would have possibly scored. But nonetheless, a double to the left field fence by Tyler Henry. Will be 2 outs and runners at second and third, and that's going to bring up Harrison. Harrison had a bunt hit his first time up. 2-1 the lead. Blue Devils batting here in the bottom of the third. Harrison steps in on the left-handed side. Takes inside. Nice job by the catcher. Also the last name, actually Garrison. To keep that ball from going clear back to the backstop. Runners at second and third. Harrison at the plate. Here comes the pitch. That's high, ball 2. So 2-0 the count. With first base open and 2 outs, not sure if Harrison will see anything close, but we'll see. Here comes the 2-0. There's a foul ball out of play. So 2 balls and a strike to the right fielder, Harrison. Harrison is from Neola, Iowa. Batting on the left-handed side, 2 on, 2 outs. Inside, blocked nicely by Garrison. So 3-1 the count to Caleb Harrison. Foul ball down the left field line and out of play. Comes the stretch and the 3-2 pitch by Joe Todd. Outside, ball 4. So that's going to load the bases up here with 2 outs to Acosta. Acosta had an RBI double his last time up to left field. Acosta is from San German, Puerto Rico. Bases full of Blue Devils. Pitch outside, ball 1. Want to no count to the center fielder. There's a line drive headed for the gap in left center. That's going to be extra bases. It looks like a double, and it's going to score 2 runs. So Acosta with back-to-back doubles, RBI on the first one and 2 RBI on the second one. So that's going to bring the count to 4-1. That's going to bring Harder up again. He's grounded out twice, once to second and once to third. He'll step in with 2 outs and 2 on. Inside, ball 1. So 3 runs in the inning to make a total of 4. 4-1 the lead for the Blue Devils. They are still batting here in the bottom of the 3rd. Strike right through there. 1 ball, 1 strike to Trace Harder, the second baseman. Comes the 1-1. Strike inside corner, just barely catches the corner. Comes the stretch and the 1-2. Foul ball. It's a high fly ball into left field. That's going to be taken care of by the left fielder. So 3 runs in the inning at the end of 3 full innings. Blue Devils lead 4-1. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Mendez back for his fourth inning of work. Top of the fourth, we go with the Blue Devils leading 4-1. Brotman, Garrison, and Tice scheduled up for the Panthers. Brotman had a base hit to left center his first time up and then was picked off. Comes the first pitch, outside, ball one. 1-0 the count to the third baseman, Brotman. Foul ball back to the screen, so evens out the count 1-1. Comes the 1-1. Foul ball sprayed over the first base dugout. So 1-2 the count. Mendez has Brotman down in the count. Brotman leading off the top of the fourth for the Panthers. Strike three called on the outside corner. So that's going to bring up Garrison. Garrison flew out to center field his first time up. He'll be up there with one out and nobody on. Just a little bit low, ball one. Want to know the count. Garrison, strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Just a little bit low and outside. I just was getting ready to say the umpire has been very consistent, and then that strike call there, much to the dismay of the batter and the crowd, that's going to be, that one's going to be what I would call a makeup call from the other one. So 3-1 the count to the catcher, Garrison. Comes the wind and the 3-1. That's outside, ball 4. So a 1-out walk issued to Garrison. That's going to bring up Tice. Tice popped out to the first baseman his first time up. He'll be up there with 1 out and 1 on. Garrison at first. His Panthers trail by 3. Squares to bunt, takes strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Tice, the second baseman. Throw over to first, back in safely. I believe that's the first throw over there that has not resulted in an out. Comes the stretch and the 0-1. Swing and a miss. So 0-2 quickly down in the count is Tice. Garrison at first after the 1-out walk. Comes the 0-2. A little bit high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mendez, the lefty, on the mound for the Blue Devils. Tice going to throw back over to first again, does Mendez. To Hinestroza, nothing doing over there this time. Comes the 1-2. High fly ball into right center. It's going to be taken care of by Acosta for the second out. That's going to bring up Thrasher, the right fielder. He grounded out to Harder on a high chopper up the middle. Made a nice circle on the ball around by the edge of second to throw Thrasher out. He'll be up there with 2 outs and 1 on. Fly ball to right field. Deep in the corner, and that taken care of by the right fielder, Harrison, for the 3rd out. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th with the Blue Devils leading 4-1. Bottom of the 4th, Blue Devils lead 4-1. Joe Todd back to work for the Panthers. Hinestroza, Santiago, and Goodfellow scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Hinestroza has a base hit up the middle and grounded out to the shortstop. He'll step in as he leads off the bottom of the 4th for the Blue Devils. The ball headed into right field for a base hit, so Hinestroza takes the first pitch and drives it right past the second baseman into right field for a leadoff hit. That's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago lined out to the center fielder in the 1st, and in the 3rd led off the inning with a home run to just about dead center field. Inside and high, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Kevin Santiago, the 3rd baseman. Swing and a miss of that fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike on Santiago. Throw to first, back in safely is Hino. Another throw over, back in safely. Comes the stretch and the 1-1. Strike ball just gets away from the catcher enough for Hinestroza to read that, and as the ball kicked away, he's off and running. So 2 balls and a strike. On Santiago. Comes the stretch and the 2-1. Foul ball sprayed over the first base dugout. Two balls and 2 strikes on the 3rd baseman, Kevin Santiago. Hinestroza at second. in the dirt, blocked nicely by Garrison. So 3-2 the count. Turns on that inside fastball and drives it over to the end of the third base dugout. So we'll do the 3-2 again. Comes the 3-2. Outside and in the dirt. Base on balls for Santiago. He wasn't sure that that was ball 4. That's better than taking off early and being the reprimand. Here's JT Goodfellow. Goodfellow is from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Missed that on his at bat a while ago. He had a base hit to left field and grounded out to the third baseman. He gets hit by a pitch. So that's going to load up the bases with nobody out for Jose Sosa. Sosa, the DH. He has 23 RBI on the season. That is second only to Tyler Henry. So maybe he can take some more right here. There's a swing and a miss on that fastball at the knees. So 0-1 the count. Hinestroza at third. Santiago at second. Goodfellow at first. Sosa at the plate. Swing and a miss. So quickly 0-2 the count on Sosa. Foul ball, backing out of play, just battling to stay alive is Sosa. Sosa with the opportunity to break this thing open if he can get something on the outfield grass. But down in the count 0-2, way outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the designated hitter, Jose Sosa. Joe Todd on the mound for the Panthers. Here comes the 1-2. Inside, ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sosa. Here comes the 2-2. Foul ball. We'll do the 2-2 again. Bottom of the 4th action, bases loaded, nobody out. There's a ground ball headed toward the second baseman to second for 1. So a 4-6 fielder's choice ground ball with an RBI for Jose Sosa. So that makes the count 5-1. It's going to bring up Kemper Bednar. He'll be up there with 1 out and runners at the corners facing Joe Todd. Squares to bunt, puts it down the first base line, just foul. Santiago at third. Sosa at first. Sosa, good approach with the 0-2 to hit it to the right side and stay out of the double play and get the RBI. Bednar bunts it foul to the first base side again. So 0-2 the count. Bednar was called out on strikes in the first and then struck out swinging in the third. He is down 0-2 in the count again. Called out on strikes. That breaking pitch just catches the top part of the zone. So that's going to bring up Tyler Henry. Tyler Henry had a double his last time up, grounded out his first time. His double on the last one, Sosa not off and running, so he did not score, but he'll be up there with 2 outs and 2 on. Runner goes, throw to second. That ball is going to be into the outfield and just off the glove of the fielder, and Santiago will score. So that makes it 6-1. First pitch, a ball high. There's a foul ball back to the screen. So 6-1, the lead for the Blue Devils as they bat here in the bottom of the fourth. 2 runs in the inning. One ball, one strike on Tyler Henry. Ball a little bit low, so 2 balls and a strike to the left fielder, Henry. Henry with 7 doubles and 6 triples. Here comes the pitch. There's a foul ball backing out of play. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runs in the inning. Blue Devils leading 6-1. Just a little bit inside. I think I might have seen just a little flinch by the umpire. Did you see a flinch by the umpire? 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 6-1 lead. Tyler Henry, the left fielder, at the plate. There's a line drive to rip down the left field line, but foul. Comes the 3-2. A line drive headed for right center. That's going to be an RBI hit for Henry. Henry into second base with a double, an RBI double. So 7-1, the lead. So that's going to bring up Harrison, the right fielder. Tyler Henry shaking off a little bit of that dive, kind of limping a little bit, taking his lead, so I guess he thinks he's ready to go. Harrison had a bunt hit in the second and then a base on balls in the third. Also had a stolen base after the bunt. Comes the first pitch to him. That's high and outside, ball 1. 3 runs in the inning. They scored 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 3 here in the fourth. The lone run by the Panthers was in the third. 1-0 the count to Harrison. Misses just a little bit low and inside. So 2-0 the count to the right fielder, left-handed hitting Caleb Harrison. Harrison with 7 RBI on the season. That ball is up for ball 3. So 3-0 the count to the right fielder. Harrison in on the left-handed side. Comes the 3-0. Ball 4 inside. That's going to bring up Acosta. Acosta had an RBI double to left field in the second inning, and in the third had a 2 RBI double to left center. We're going to have a visit to the mound. We'll take a break. We'll be back with any changes in a moment. Michael Segree from Arkansas City, Kansas, is going to be on in relief. So Joe Todd goes 3 2/3. 2 outs, Acosta to the plate. Acosta's got a couple of doubles with 3 RBI total. In those 2 doubles, he steps in with 2 outs. Runners at first and second, takes high, ball 1. Segree comes in, a tall, big right-hander. He brings his 3.60 ERA to the mound with him. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Foul ball backing out of play by Acosta. So Eduardo Acosta, the center fielder, 1-1 the count on him with 2 outs and 2 on. Henry at second. Harrison at first. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Segree to Acosta. Fly ball to deep left field. That's going to be taken care of by the left fielder, Curtis, for the last out. But 3 runs in the inning. At the end of 4, Blue Devils lead 7-1. Mendez back for his 5th inning of work. He's scheduled to face the 6, 7, 8 hitters Lemunion, Scribner, and Curtis. Blue Devils lead 7-1. First game is a scheduled 7. The second game is a scheduled 9. Blue Devils won the first one yesterday down in Chanute and then lost the second one for the split yesterday. First pitch is high. Ball 1 to Lemunion. Just missed a little bit low, so 2-0 the count to the first baseman, Lemunion. Comes the 2-0 from Mendez. Swing and a miss. So 2-0 swinging was Lemunion, the first baseman there. Comes up empty, 2-1. Here comes the 2-1. Fly ball to deep center field. Not deep, just regular center field. Acosta measures that one up and puts it away. It's going to bring up Scribner, the designated hitter. He had a home run to left field his first time up in the 3rd inning for the lone run for the Panthers. That pitch misses outside, ball 1. 1-0 to the designated hitter, Scribner. Ball a little bit low. 2-0 the count. Comes the 2-0. Strike outside corner at the knees. Called strike 1. 2 balls and a strike on the hitter Scribner. 1 out. Top of the 5th action. Here comes the 2-1. Just misses a little bit inside. 3-1 the count. Comes the wind in, the pitch. Little bloop to the shortstop Bednar, and he takes care of that for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up Curtis. Curtis had a base hit to left field his first time up, and then was promptly retired by being picked off of first. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on the top of the 5th action. There's high, ball 1. Curtis, the left fielder, number 18. Swing and a miss of that fastball. 1 ball and strike to the right-handed hitting left fielder, Curtis. Just misses. 2 balls and a strike. Comes the 2-1. Foul ball back and over the top of us, so 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs to Curtis. Comes the wind and the 2-2. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. So at the end of 4 1/2, Blue Devils lead 7-1. We'll be back. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Segree back to the mound. Harder up. Takes outside, ball 1. Harder is 0 for 3. Couple of ground outs and a fly out. 1-0 the count to him. The fly ball to right field. Over to take care of that is the right fielder, Thrasher. It's going to bring up Hinostroza. Hinostroza's got a couple of base hits and a ground out to the shortstop. He'll step in with 1 out and nobody on. It's a base hit into right field, so back-to-back base hits to right field, one by the second baseman and one by the first baseman. He's on with 1 out. It's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago lined out to left field in the first, led off the third with a home run, and then walked in the 4th. He'll be up there with 1 out. And Hinostroza at first. Foul ball. Oh, and 1 the count on Santiago. Fly ball to deep center field back. Measuring that is the center fielder. Hinostroza headed to second and going to tag and move up on the fly ball to center field. Cassane records that, but moving up, nice job by Hinostroza to move up on that deep fly ball. That's going to bring up Goodfellow. He's had a base hit, a ground out, and hit by a pitch. He'll step in with 2 outs, and Hinestroza at second. Swinging on that first pitch over to right field. The right fielder coming in is Thrasher, and he takes care of that for the 3rd out of the inning. So at the end of 5 full, Blue Devils lead 7-1. We'll be back. Back to the mound is Mendez. In right field, Matt Schrick from Atchison, Kansas. A defensive move to right field here late in the game. Top of the 6th, Blue Devils lead 7-1. Oranda, Brotman, and Garrison scheduled up for the Panthers. Oranda has struck out and reached on an error. So Mendez back for his 6th inning of work. The first game is a scheduled 7-inning game. Strike on the outside corner. This leadoff hitter is actually Connor Jeffers from Burlington, Kansas. Pinch hitter. There's a foul ball back to the screen. Jeffers batting .233 at the start of the day. He takes outside ball 1. So 1-2 the count to Jeffers, the leadoff pinch hitter for the Panthers. That ball stays way outside, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mendez on Jeffers. Oranda Brotman up next. There's a swing and a miss for the strikeout. So back to the top of the order. Cruz Oranda, the shortstop. He is the one that reached on an error and struck out. That was the first at bat of the day for Jeffers. So Oranda steps in with 1 out and nobody on. There's a fly ball into center field. Acosta over to take care of that for the 2nd out of the inning. That's going to bring up Brotman, the third baseman. He had a base hit in the first inning and then called out on strikes in the fourth. He'll be up there with 2 outs and nobody on with the Panthers batting here in the top of the 6th. They trail 7-1. Comes the wind in the pitch from Mendez. Foul ball, strike 1. Oh, and 1 the count on the third baseman. In the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike to the third baseman, Brotman. Comes the 1-1. There's a strike on the outside corner at the knees. Comes the 1-2. Foul ball down the third base line. One and 2 the count. Mendez has gone all the way so far for the Blue Devils. One and two. 2 and 2, excuse me. Mendez is from Carolina, Puerto Rico. It's a ground ball in the hole. We'll see how that's scored. Had a similar play earlier that was scored a hit for us, and that's going to be a scored a hit there for Brotman. So that's going to bring up the catcher, Garrison. He's flown out and walked. A little bit low, ball 1. The last base hit Brotman had, he was promptly picked off. We'll see if he learned from that or if Mendez goes over there and tries to get him again. Here comes the 1-0. There's a fly ball to deep center field. Acosta over to the warning track and takes care of that. So at the end of 5.5, Blue Devils lead 7-1. We'll be back. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Blue Devils leading 7-1. Segre back to work for the Panthers. Sosa, Bednar, and Henry scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Sosa has a base on balls, a base hit, and a ground out. A fielder's choice that scored a run. A fly ball to deep left field. So a leadoff home run by Jose Sosa. Make the count 8-0. It's going to bring up Bednar. Bednar has been called out on strikes twice and down swinging once. Segre misses outside, way outside, 1-0. Strike two. Excuse me, 1 ball, 2 strike, or 1 ball and 1 strike. Does that count right, guys? 1 ball, 1 strike to Bednar. In the dirt. The first one was way outside. My bad. Thank you. 2-1. Three and 1 the count. Segre on in relief of Todd. Home run by Sosa to lead off the inning. Here comes the 3-1. Foul ball out of play over the first base dugout. So 3-2 the count on Kemper Bednar. Comes the 3-2 from Segre. There's a fly ball headed to right field. The right fielder takes care of that. So Thrasher makes a running play toward the foul line to get Bednar. It's going to bring up Tyler Henry. Tyler grounded out to the third baseman and then followed that up with a couple of doubles. So he's 2 for 3 on the day. He'll step in with 1 out and nobody on. There's a ball deep to left field. And if it's fair, it's going to be out of here, and it is. So Tyler Henry with the home run. So 2 home runs in the inning. Makes the count 9-1. Going to have a visit to the mound. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Blue Devils lead 9-1. Pitching change. Hunter Friedrich from Chanute, Kansas will come in. His ERA is 4.26. He will face Matt Schrick. This will be Matt Schrick's first at bat of the day. Swing and a foul off the umpire's mask, so he'll walk that off. 9-1 lead for the Blue Devils as they bat here with 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. They've scored 1 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, and 2 so far here in the 6th. Schrick with his first at bat, his first swing is off the mask of the umpire, letting him shake out the cobwebs of that. So he's ready to go. 1 out. Comes the 0-1 pitch to Matt Schrick. The pop foul over toward the first base side. That is going to be on top of the dugout and out of play. So 0-2 the count. So the Panthers with Scribner a home run in the 3rd. The Blue Devils with Santiago in the 3rd. Sosa and Henry here in the 6th. There's a foul ball out of play. So we'll do the 0-2 again. So 1 home run by Neosho County and 3 by the Blue Devils. There's a ball a little bit down, so a ball and 2 strikes to Matt Schrick. Ground ball over to the shortstop and dug out by Lemunion for the ground out. So Schrick out on a 6-3. Close play over there. That's going to bring up Acosta. Acosta has doubled twice for 3 RBI and flown out to left field. He'll be up there with 2 outs and nobody on to Schrick to face Frederick. First pitch to him is outside, ball 1. Comes the 1-0 pitch. Fly ball to deep center field. The center fielder, Jeffers, measures that up. For the 3rd out of the inning, we go to the top of the 7th. Blue Devils leading 9-1. So to the top of the 7th we go. Blue Devils are leading 9-1. Mendez, coaches decided instead of going after a save to send Mendez back to the mound to see if he can finish this one on his own and save a little bit of relief pitching. Scheduled up is Tice, Thrasher, and Lemunyon. Their Panthers down by 8 as he leads off. He's popped out to the first baseman and flown out to center field. That misses a little bit, 1-0. Comes the 1-0. A little bit high, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes as Tice, the second baseman, leads off here in the top of the 7th for the Panthers. That just misses, 3-0. The count to the leadoff hitter here in the 7th. That just misses a little bit outside. So a leadoff walk issued to Tice. That's going to bring up Thrasher. Thrasher has grounded out and flown out to the right field line, to the right fielder. Another pickoff at first base. So I believe that is 4 pickoffs in the game. 2 in rundowns, 2 straight pickoffs. That misses high. Ball 1. Nothing friendlier than for a left-handed pitcher than to have 4 pickoffs in a game. There's a ground ball at the third baseman's. Holder is up with that and over to first to Acosta. And Holder a defensive insert at third base. Gets the second out of the inning. Strike called to Lemunyon, the first baseman. He's up there with the Panthers down to their last out. That's outside. So 1 ball and a strike to Lemunyon. 1-1 the count. Panthers down to their last out. There's a fly ball to deep right center. Over for that and calling for it is the right fielder, Schrick. He takes care of that. So the first game today is in the books. A complete game for Mendez. The Blue Devils lead or win 9-1. We'll take about a 20 or 30-minute break. We'll reset to the other link on the website, and that's where we'll see you here in a few minutes.